All right, well, I'm continuing this seven-part series on how to make socialism real. Have looked at socialism as a worldview, that everything is interconnected, including ourselves, others, the world around us, and the divine. Looking at socialism as a way of life, a way of really cultivating experiences of imaginative empathy and expressions of compassionate action. And then I've really aimed that at the two of the four spheres in which socialism operates, my worldview and my way of life. One being interconnection with ourselves and how to foster that empathy and also compassion, imaginative empathy and experience, and acts of compassionate action towards ourselves. And then began to look at that for others as well. And now I'm turning my attention now to the world of nature, the cosmos, and our interconnection with everything that is in the non-human realm of being. For quantum physics, there's an ontology to that. In other words, a beingness to it, which is described in the word entanglement, quantum entanglement. Look that up if you want to find more, which really goes down to the sort of smallest subatomic level of interconnection with everything, and the way that, across vast differences or distances, of time and space, everything is interconnected and actually influences and is influenced by everything else. But the fact is, you don't have to believe in something like that, or in my case, in a sort of spiritual connection of everything rooted in our own spiritual essence and in the essence of a more than personal divine being that connects us all, and in whom, and through whom, and by whom, and for whom we are connected with everything and with each other in that expansive divine heart. You don't have to believe all of that to just know that we are connected by the fact that we share the same space and molecules and all of that. So we can still function, and need to function actually, as if that were real. Experiencing imaginative empathy with not just other human beings, but animals, plants, insects, rocks, dirt, sand, and compassionate action towards them as well. I'm going to talk about a practice for how to get at some of that a little bit later, but I thought I would just jump right into a fairly long poem that was written to try to express some of this, called Morning Coffee. And it really is trying to awaken our imaginations to this sense of interconnection with everything. Morning Coffee. Fair trade, shade grown, green as green. My first jolt, caffeine. I'm suddenly alert, erect, sensual, alive. I too am green as green can be, I muse, contented with myself. Some days I brew at home, other days, en route to this or that, I order what others brew for me. I pull up in my machine and talk to a machine while sitting in a machine, and then drive away in my machine, carrying my drugs in a cup. Paper. Recyclable, though. I always make sure of that. Virtuous man. In moments of silence, when I'm not drowning the voices, I might ask, who gave me this cup? Fuel, electricity, paper, trees, oceans, plastic, metals, soil, water, human labor, wearing clothes made in Bangladesh by children, workers who drove to work in machinery to operate the machinery that provides me with my steaming brown cup of stimulation here in my machine. Sometimes I see it clearly, like a dream sequence, a 60s psychedelic black light glowing flash. I'm entangled with the fingers and hands that dug and fertilized, cultivated, pruned, harvested, bagged, carried, loaded, shipped, roasted, greeted, brewed, poured, hands that decorated foam into shapes, hands handing me a cup. I'm drinking entanglement, swallowing sweat and toil and water and air and energy and trees. I digest a food chain. I metabolize an ecosystem to make sure I'm awake. Awake? I take the cup I've been handed, holding it in my sensitive, virtuous fingers, protected from the heat by more paper. Paper. Yes, but I clean it before I put it in the green bin, a plastic bin I sometimes remember in those silent moments. On this morning, I wake and make my coffee at home, holding my cup, sipping, staring, eyes lifted through my window to the sky. I hear the trucks, the men, the rattle, the shake and the engine, the loader, the crash of glass, din of metal, the cacophony chewing my old paper cups before they're taken to be buried in a mass grave, burned with the detritus, the skins shed from our necessities and comforts and habituated needs and accustomed greeds. In the evenings, before the morning trash, I carry my share of it to the bins, organized within the carefully sheltered square, fenced by bushes and trees, landscaped like a condo. Are we trying to hide what goes on here? All is well, nothing to see here, move along now, we tell ourselves. After all, we're good green people. In our circle of nameless neighbors, we have green bins. We use them. We recycle. Cycle. The shared rituals of anonymous shapes in the dawn. Use, discard, carry, dump, cart away, empty bins, and another cycle. Use, discard, carry, dump, cart away, recycle. Someone takes it all away. I can't tell you who. They have names, and I could ask, but I don't. They take it somewhere. I can't tell you where. I could find out, but I don't. Do people live there? Or near there? Perhaps a mere stone's throw away? Is someone somewhere out there right now throwing a stone into my cup? Most days I can say it's all happening miles away from here. But in the silent moments in my mind, I see it. It spreads. It's coming, growing. A subterranean, cavernous, ravenous mouth swallowing the manicured, irrigated sprawl. It's coming for us. If not now, then next year, or the next year, or the next, chewing up more of the space between itself and the gated homes, crawling its way to a stone's throw from a porch where someone sits watching. Then there will be someone else, and someday me on my porch, a stone's throw from the landfill. Last night I dreamed. There's a man on a bus. It stops. He steps down. He walks 50 steps to a door. There are children waiting. He turns around and looks across the road, children tugging at his arm, and across the street machines are circling, plowing, moving mounds of rotting piles. The breeze catches and carries it to his face. The scene changes, but it's the same. You know how dreams are. There are rolling hills and hazy shapes, a man bent by a burlap bag, shrouding his back, an old woman with gnarled fingers pulling red berries from a branch. I see something that might be a paper cup out there, stained brown at the rim. I'm standing, a cup in my hand. I'm beside a drive-up window, and you know how dreams are. One foot is planted on the carpet of my condo. I have a foot in the landscaped square and the green bins, and a foot on a sidewalk across the road from the hills and the old gnarled woman, and a foot on a mound of debris, paper cups protruding from the putrid dirt like old bones. Holding a cup of morning coffee to my lips, the dream has ended, but I'm not awake. There's a silent moment, and it comes to me that all this time I have not been asleep. Morning coffee. Well, in terms of a practice, which I mentioned, I would conclude with two things. One, for empathy and really experiencing imaginative empathy. Imagine maybe every day this week, when you walk outside, whatever that is for you, apartment, condo, house, When you walk outside every day this week, imagine that there's a landfill at your door, as depicted maybe in that poem. That's first, just an imaginative empathy with that future state of the world at the rate we're going. And then perhaps a compassionate action, an act of compassion. Consider this week one change in behavior that you could do that might affect nature in a positive way. It could be that you save a bug or a caterpillar. I did a bunch of that with my grandkids recently. Adjust your water usage, even in a small way. Pick up somebody else's trash that you find laying on the grass someplace. Imaginative empathy, compassionate action, small steps. All right, next time I'm going to tackle what it means to be in some kind of an interconnection with divine or ultimate reality, whatever way you may want to imagine that. So I'll see you then as we keep trying to make Soulcialism real.